Okay, this is video number 2, how to do a little bit of research. We need to find those references so we can do the APA citations that are also due this week. So, my recommendation would be to go to our GOCC library. There's a link here. I've got links throughout the paper module, but here's, a link. So we go to the library. I need to open it in a new tab, I guess. I think I double hit it. Okay, and it gives you a bunch of information, but let's go to the research part. Good times, good times. Let's stop. Pause the recording so I could find the library. Going back to the open it in a new tab, it opens up to this apparently, which is their front page now. But you can go to the online services here and click library, and it opens to the page I was expecting. Okay, so it's called the E.J. Shaheen Library. There's some resources here that you could just search for books. You could go down to the databases, is which I would do. I would go to the psychology one. There are several different ones within the psychology link. Academic search. Let's do that one, or the behavioral sciences collection. I would go either one of those two. And then you wind up with a search like this. And all libraries have this type of a search, especially the EBSCO host. The library I use for my PhD, it's set up kind of the same way. So let's see. Let's say we want to look up depression. Oops. You could put it in like that, or if you already have it narrowed down a little bit, like depression in teens. Okay. You could also limit on this page to the full search. You can put in the date. I'm just going to do the broad one right now and see how many we come up with. Okay. 6,000, you can see right here, 6,467 articles. Obviously, we're not going to read all those articles, and that's just on teen depression. But it goes over here, it goes from 1960. Oh, wait, you can't see that. There we go. 1960 to 1921. I said 5 years, so I'm going to back it up to 2000. I'm going to do 2017. I'm going to do I want all results or academic journals? It's still going to be pretty big. Let's just do that. Then hit enter. It's updating. We're down to 2000. Okay. Then you can kind of get some more ideas. Fish oil, no better placebo. I'm thinking probably not going to need something like that. Almost depression. Well, that might be kind of interesting. Um, Young adults, mental depression, teenagers. Okay, so and it's got the full text, so that one might be a good one. You can, whoops, I can't move it over here, but if you move the to the other side, which is not letting me do that right now, like it did just a second ago. There we go. You can see the folders. So I kind of like that one, so I'm going to stick it in the folder. Now this is only going to last for this search unless you sign your folder up a certain way. Okay, social media and depression. You could probably write a whole paper on just social media and depression. You could probably find 5 studies right here. Or maybe between teens and parents. Or a whole bunch of them right here. Teen pregnancy, depression, and substance abuse. Racial disparity, depression, and birth outcome among teen or pregnant teens. So unless you want to narrow it to pregnant teens, I would skip those types of things. When you want to talk about if you're doing depression or teen depression and you want to say what are the symptoms, this one might be good. Early childhood exposure to intimate partner violence and teen depression. That would be part of the causes. Risk behaviors, that would be like what are the symptoms? Just scroll through these. How do they measure it? Maybe you could another way that you can narrow it down. Say we found this one looked good, the first one that I put in the folder. Take a look at it. How did they do the study? And if you go to the full text, which is, hopefully I can move this again. Nope. Over like that. Okay, so the full text is right here. This is just a little trick. You're looking at all this. What year was this? Anyway, 2019. Okay. And they're telling you a little bit more about what they defined as depression. But I sometimes scroll to, or I read it, and if I find another author interesting, maybe I can find some information from them. So these are their citations. Fabio, persistent depressive symptoms. And when was that written? 2017. So you can see all that like right there. So that one, you could go look that one up next. Cut and paste it. This one might be interesting. So that's how you can narrow it down. The other way that they do stuff, and this time I'm up to the top here. I'm going back to the results list. On this side, this is interesting. Way over here, the same side. Okay, so I put it in the folder. That's called Almost Depression. They have right here are some other ideas. Fast food might contribute. Justin Bieber opens up. More web news, social media. Lots of time on so if you pick the social media one, it gives you 3 more right here that might be interesting. So that's how I would start my research. I would either print it off, take good notes, or make sure that you save it in the correct spot. Oops, I just took it out of there. See how easy that was. Okay. I'm gonna add it back to my folder. It tells you how to cite it. You click on Cite. Oh, there it is. Gotta move my thing again. It's just not quite wide enough. You don't want these. You want, oh, look, APA 7th edition. And that's how you do it. Last name, first initial, last name, first initial, year. But the APA likes to have the year right there because we're so concerned about having new, current, relevant information. Journal of Psychosocial Research, and then it gives the volume number, page numbers that it is within the volume, and then of course where you found it. So you don't need to put retrieved by or any of that. Just if you choose to cut and paste, I got to give you a little bit of a clue. You'll have a shadow behind it, and I'll know you just cut and pasted. So you might want to cut, paste, and then retype. That's up to you. But that's one. Okay, let's do it again because that was fun. All right, maybe not fun, but that was interesting. Let's I'm just pushing buttons now. Move this over. New search. Okay, so I'm back to that blank page again that I got to from the library. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try to go back one more. Just ignore this for a second. Oh, well, phooey. There we go. Okay, so in the Learning Commons, you might need, for some things, it says if you are off campus, you will be required to have a user ID and a password. Don't panic. If you hover over user ID, it tells you what your user ID is. Mine would be R. Birch, because it's Rebecca Birch. R. Birch. The password, not tricky either. It's just your ID, but you got to have all your zeros in it. If you don't know your ID, you can ask me. It's on your transcript somewhere, your thing into class, your class roster, whatever it is, schedule. There we go. So that's username and password if you need that. I, for some reason, didn't need it when I popped into these. Okay, so let's do this collection this time. And we're going to look for, so we did teen depression. We could do postpartum depression. We could do anxiety. ANXIETY. And look, it even gives you a couple of ideas. Anxiety and depression, because they hand in hand. Disorders in college students and children, what kind of treatments. So you might want to narrow it down. How do you manage it? Let's just pop in college students and see what pops up. Again, this is the very broad one. When we've got 2,000 hits, so I'm clearly gonna change my dates. See how many hits we get then. 500, and usually they start with the most relevant at the top. I don't know how they know what's relevant, but the most relevant at the top. Creating mandalas reduces social anxiety. Well, that's kind of a strange one. Impact of sleep. Well, there you go. This one's good. This is if you wanted to just write on sleep. Um, so again, you can open it. The full text is right there. So you can open it, slide over to here. You can print it if you want, download it as a PDF. It should give you some citations. If you want to cite it, hover over here, click cite, and it'll tell you, remember you want the 7th edition, which is popping back over here. Okay. Baroni A. Okay, so this is all their last names, first initials. There's a bunch of them. Okay, make sure you get the and right when you get to the last person. And there's no comma, the year, period. I'm looking for all that, but if you cut and paste, all you got to do is get rid of the background somehow. Okay, so back to now. Now I don't know where the back button is again. Oops, citation format. I just want to put it in the folder. Whoops, I just did. You couldn't see it because I got to move. Sorry about all that. There you go. So you can pop it in the folder there to save it for later. I print everything off anyway, so you might want to do this while you're in the library, or make sure you're downloading it and saving it all in a file of your own. It gives you a chance right here to download it. Every time I push the button, does like a double whammy. Woof! There we go. This is all the stuff I have saved recently. And I would just, name it, save it, whatever. So that's a couple of ways to do some research. I need to show you a little bit more in another video about APA style. Okay, first of all, I just showed you how to cut and paste from there, but that doesn't show your in-text citation. So I'm going to do that next. As usual, I can't find the off button.